People, me and Mr. Harvey sitting here today, and we talking about business. Say you folks out there sitting out there waiting on the government to give food stamps and shit. Better wake up. We told y'all.
They are not gonna save
Yep,
you.
yeah, we told you a couple of shows ago. You need to go out there and create your own job. You got to create your own job, people. You ain't gonna get rich waiting on that man to give you your daggone check or to give you your food stamps. Cause he don't care.
Don't care one bit.
Don't care. He does not care about you. As long as he getting money and his children getting money, he don't care.
You know, I was sitting here this morning and I was thinking, and so I'm going through YouTube, and guess who popped up? Former President Obama.
Oh,
President Obama.
okay.
And he was speaking for about an hour. I fell asleep on him, but he was talking very, you know how he talks, very articulate, very informative, giving people the right information and what's going on and all that. But at the same time, I was just thinking, I said, you know, there are people out there that try to rationalize this whole mess that's going on here. And maybe you might know better than me because it's almost like they're pretending that you know you can win these people over by giving them information and what's going on and how this works and this and that by talking to them on the internet through the internet, trying to be rational, and you try to tell these people. But in my mind, and I'm just saying that this is what I think. There were two things that these people, what they've been programmed in their mind. And when I say these people, I'm talking about our Caucasian people, most of our Caucasian people, male and female. It was immigration and transgender. They do not want these Latinos in this country. Hell, they don't even want black people, but we've been here longer than them. But the point is that they do not want these Latinos unless they can use them for work. Other than that, they do not want them around. The one thing that pisses them off is that they go through the stores and these people don't know how to speak English. They have a whole different culture about themselves. I mean, a identifiable culture. And I was just wondering, say, how do America survive this one? How do we survive this one as far as the melting pot? Because the other day you said, well, how many Latinos do you think we got here? And I said about 125 million. And it's around 50 million black people. I'm talking about all black people, from all over the world, and the ones, we were the ones here too. So it's about 50 million of us. And I think they realized, they said, black folks ain't the problem. It's the Latinos. And Ed, they're realizing that the so-called, I call them Asiatic, but really they a lot of people call them Indian, because they're from India. and and then you have all these other uh, brown people, that's from India, Pakistan, Egypt, all those kinds of people are here too. A lot of them speak very well, English. A lot of them are educated, especially their husbands. And so America right now is doing a paradigm shift. But where's that shift going? If you notice, I don't know if you notice this or not, but there's a lot of Asiatic, I'm calling them Asiatic, they're Indians, that are running for office. And the white folks see this. Look at Victor Swamaswamy, I guess that's how you pronounce his name. And, you know, and one of the white wing spokespersons, who's a female, blonde, skinny lady, can't think of her name, told him, you know what, I agree with everything you said, but I can't vote for you.
Mm-hmm.
You're Indian.
Mm-hmm.
So that right there tells you everything about these Caucasian people. Now he suck up to them white folks, and as though like he act like he's better than everybody else. When I mean better, I mean he's better than black people. He's better than Latino people. This is his whole thing, and so he's thinking that, hey, I'm just as good as you white folks,
And he got money.
and he got money. So, but he don't realize they only use you to cut up black people. They don't use you to cut up Latino people. They don't use you for whatever. And then another reason why they don't go with these Indian people, because most of them are in a different kind of religion that most of us don't even understand. So we are in a real pickle here because listening to another guy, Pastor Brian, he took over the New Birth Church, Ed, and he has brought that church from, the situation that went there.
I
It was a
know
whole big
Eddie
mess,
Long. Eddie
and
Long.
now he has brought it back up, and it's pretty much debt free almost. It was 32 million, and I'm just coming out of his mouth. He said they only owe 10 million now, and he said in a few more years we'll be debt free. So, and when you look at his politics, he's more of a I wouldn't call him a liberal, but progressive. He's more progressive, but he's more of a Democratic side, but he cuts up the Democrats as well as the Republicans. And in the church, there's what you call segregated Sunday. The most segregated day in the week is on Sunday morning at 11 o'clock. So now we got religious people, we got all kind of ethnic people, and then they got us, and here we are, black folks who have fought for this whole freedom thing, fought for our rights. People have died and what have you. And I'm looking, I say, and we don't even vote. We don't even engage. We're not engaged. We don't believe in the American dream. What I mean by the American dream is it's not that they don't believe in it, because most black folks, they got to have a place to stay. They try to get a house, or they'll rent a house or whatever, and get a job or what have you. but they don't understand what the American dream is all about. We was talking about business. Well, this country is all about business. This is all we're about is business. If you're not a capitalist, if you're not having a business, you can't make it in this country. If you ain't got a good retirement plan, and you worked for 25, 30 years or whatever, and you can be okay, but you ain't gonna never have enough money because unless you're a multi-millionaire, because inflation is gonna eat that little money you got going up. So what am I talking about? What I'm talking about is that I don't think that a lot of us do not understand what this country is all about. We are, this country is about business. And a lot of people that come from overseas or from everywhere they come from, they know that this country is about business. A lot of them ain't looking for no corporate jobs. Some of them might say, "Ooh, I want to be a journalist," or some of them might say, "Ooh, I want to be a politician." Some of them might say that, but most of them, hey, they're trying to start their own little businesses, their little restaurants or whatever. So we are in a different transition. I don't know where we're going with this because now you talk on geographical, like different areas. It seems like nobody wants to go to North Dakota and South Dakota. No, nobody wants to go to these little states that ain't hardly got anybody in there. They all want to stay in New York, and they want to stay in California. They want to stay in Texas. They want to stay in, Illinois. Half of them don't want to even go to Minnesota. It's too cold. So where are we going as a nation when they allowed this so-called, and I'm putting it in quotes, businessman run this country? Because see, he's doing exactly what he said he was going to do. He running around making deals for himself. He pretending that he's making deals around the nation. These people, they just placating him. Until I see it, I don't believe it. I don't believe China's going to do a damn thing for the United States.
They ain't gonna do shit. All they did was sit there and dangle a carrot in front of that son of a gun, and he walked away and told them everything is beautiful, it's getting ready to happen. China didn't say that.
No,
They
I
ain't,
don't
they ain't
believe
opened
it.
their mouth. They ain't said a word.
I don't believe it.
The only person who talking with him and Bassett and all the rest of them son of a gun. Yes, we got it, we get it. They even talked about Japan. Look at Japan. They just went over there and they said, yes, they're going to give us that. We're going to get that money from them. And Japan sat down there and said they opened their mouth and said, we're going to piecemeal this stuff to them. We're going to give them just a little bit every year. And they ain't got control over it. So they ain't nowhere near what they're talking about, all the investment they talking about putting in this country.
They're
They
just
look in
lying.
South
He just
Korea.
lying to the
Yeah,
American
he
people like
just
he just
lied to the
done
American
something.
people. They look at South Korea. They told them the same thing.
Yeah,
And they also told them that they wasn't going to send their people back over here until they get this place straightened out and everything where they folks can feel safe coming
yeah,
over here into this country. And
yeah,
Trump ain't planning on doing it. He ain't said nothing about, I'm going to make you all safe. We're going to create this to make you guys safe. We're going to do this to make those guys safe. He ain't said nothing.
no, no, because he know he can't control these ICE people
He can't.
because they're gonna do what the hell they
They
want to
gonna do
do.
what the hell they want to do, and he can't stop them
No, he can't stop it.
because he done put them out there. He done sick the dogs on them, and he can't stop them dogs. Them hounds is running around, and he can't stop the hounds. He can't blow his whistle and bring them back or nothing, or rein them back in. They just out there like wild animals.
And and the thing is that um, so many people out there that's got um, side hustles, things off the books and all that. They breaking all that crap up, bro. These street vendors, these hustlers, that's hustling, on Uber and all that stuff. They breaking all that up. And anybody that's doing any kind of side hustles or whatever, they breaking it all up.
They're gonna find
And
they're gonna find a way that they can't stop that, Ted. They're gonna find a way to make some money inside hustle. They got that dark web sitting out there where they're willing and able to help them to make money. They got people who are gonna make them some money, and how they gonna make it? They're just gonna go underground. Now the street vendors and stuff who's selling the hot dogs and stuff like that, yeah, they can stop them. But then a lot of times you can't stop them because all they're gonna do is put their stuff on a daggone truck and everything, and go to a certain place and stuff, sell their stuff for about an hour or two and stuff, and back up and leave. And your customers, you tell them, hey, they coming after me, so I'm gonna be here at a certain time, or you'll get an app and say this is where I'm gonna be at. Man, it's all kind of ways of beating them fools. I got a question for you. You brought up Obama, the first thing. You never went completed what happened with Obama. I didn't get a full understanding
well,
about why. Yeah.
what I was getting at is that a lot of the politicians, himself included, and some of the people that are rational or trying to think this whole thing out and process it, and they're almost like they're trying to convince people that America is not what we see. We can make it better. But when you got 30 solid million people or more that have been radicalized, saying that they really want to be segregated, then but there's a lot of spicy whites, as Joy calls them, spicy whites, that that want to be integrated, that want to be in the melting pot. But how do you uh, in this country, it's a free country, I mean, hate is hate. People they can hate whoever they want to hate until they do something that's illegal. But hate is hate, and racism is racism. If you prejudice and you don't want to rent to a black person or a brown person or whoever, hate is hate.
So
You
so
know,
did he have any solu- solutions for the people
like I
who
said,
are in it?
I sort of kind of fell asleep on him, and then I woke up and he was still talking, and then I clicked on to something else, and I just told myself I'd just go back and re-listen to it because like you, I was up to I woke up at 2:30, 3 o'clock this morning, you know. So, but what I'm saying is I was listening to him around 1 o'clock, and then fell asleep. But I'm just saying that I'm just all of us, everybody that has any kind of self-respect, or I would say a sensible brain in their head, trying to figure out where are we going, what are we doing, what is happening to this the law is gone crazy. You know, these people have, they don't care about what's right or wrong. You know, and so this is where we at now because we have to. They already said they got hundreds of lawsuits out there, hundreds. So, and we depending on the judges, depending on the law, the Constitution, and all those things, and these people just breaking it up left and right. There's a lot of stories that's going on right now that people are breaking laws and they're getting out of it right now. So, and I
Well,
really don't even want to talk about those types of stories because that has to deal with people doing bad things, and then they get a slap on the wrist. So,
well, that's what happens, Ted, when you have a legal system and you have someone who has already evaporated the legal system. You're going to find out that, and he's giving everybody out there a roadmap as to how to do something illegal and get away with it. He can get away with it for a long time. And that roadmap is find somebody you don't like, whatever it is, sue them, and you may not even have a case, but you're going to sue them. So you're the plaintiff, the other person is the defendant. He's going to have to find him an attorney, he or she, or the company got to find him an attorney to go to court and defend themselves in that court system. And by the time that thing get through the court system, by halfway through, somebody gonna sell them because they don't want to have to go actually to a trial or whatever. Because once they get to a trial, everybody's expenses start exploding. So they figure that hey, I pay them off and save me some money. And that's what's going on now with the media companies. They don't want to sit there in the daggone court system and pay an attorney, and Trump knows it. He plays to that. That's his modus operandi, and that's exactly what's going on in our court system, and they know it. So they're going to commit a crime, knowing that they did something wrong, and half of the time they're going to get away with it completely. That's our court system. He's sitting down there now, Trump saying, "I don't care." I got a sneaking suspicion, Ted, that if the Supreme Court next month, which is another couple of days, sometime in November, they're going to pass down a decision and stuff on that tariff thing. Is he legally able to do that? If they rule against him, I don't believe he's going to follow it. He's going to still keep on doing it. And the Congress is not going to stop him. They've already proved that. They are not going to stop him, especially the House. Now, the Senate may try to stop him, but the House is not going to even try to stop him. They've already capitulated and gave up their rights to even deal with tariffs and stuff until sometime next year in March. They passed their ruling. We're going to give up our rights to Trump. Now they can come back and try to stop him and everything and say, hey, that's what we're going to do. But I believe if the court tells him, no, you can't do it, you don't have the right to do that and everything, he is not going to stop. He's going to still continue to enact tariffs. And I don't see anybody to stop him.
well, let's look at it look at it differently now. What's going on, like in New York? Okay, we got two things going on in New York. One is that this guy is a socialist. The second thing is that he's a Muslim.
Mm-hmm.
Now, those are two things that overall most people are pretty not okay with because we know that Muslims are, they believe in, I'm not saying that his sect does believe in this, but Sharia law. So there are things that what they're doing is, and what they have done because they felt, and this is just my opinion, they felt that, ooh, black folks is moving up. They're running for office. They're running for all kinds of positions and what have you. And they really know how to work this game. And they realize that. So then they say, hey, we got to do something to stop this. And what do they start doing? Redistricting everything, gerrymandering, all of that. So so because there are so many smart black people who have run for office and running for office, now, they're getting, the big thing now is they're getting death threats. When it used to be that, it was about ideas. Ideas. This country was about trying to, we're going to always have people that's going to be racist or prejudiced or, playing the game, for money and all that. But what it's really about is about being free and allowing other people to be free, in my opinion. This is what the whole American thing is. And as long as it's not against the law. Now, the law was changed or, big time when they allowed gay marriage. Two men, two women get married. So, so that's the reason why I think that a lot of people who are against gay marriage, transgender, and undocumented people, and they running around and been here for 25 years. I was just listening to a guy, sir, say he's been here for 45 years, and he said he ain't never bothered to try to be legal or be, an American citizen, but he got a house and everything else, and retired and all that. How many people in this country that's like that? Probably thousands, if not millions, because we do not uh, put our foot down to these politicians to do things that's supposed to be right. Because when people are paying them money and they get paying for their campaign and getting in office, they just look the other way.
Speaking of Zandami in New York City, his election is Tuesday,
Yeah,
and your buddy has came out of the woodwork and dropped $1 million for his opponent,
yeah,
Mike Bloomberg.
yeah. And that ain't no
He
money.
go, he dropped the $1 million into his coffin in his PAC group. I know it ain't no money, but the fact that he came out and put that money into his campaign, and because he doesn't want Zandami to win, he gave that man a PAC group $1 million.
Cuomo.
Man, that's yeah, that speaks loudly for what Bloomberg
And you
thinks
got to look
about.
at it. He's an ex. What he ran New
He's an
York for what,
ex-mayor.
12 years?
No, he only can run 2 terms, and he had to give it up. I think they term limited. Most of those people are term limited. I think he ran his whole term. If he had to run again, he probably would have won then. He's very popular there in New York. So maybe that $1 million and everything that spoke loudly to the people and stuff who liked Bloomberg and putting a lot of pressure on Zandami right before this thing is over because according to all the news people, even a month ago and everything, he was a shoe in to win it. Maybe it's
Well,
not now.
all I got to say is this: is that the Asian people, and when I say Asian, I'm talking about China.
Hmm.
They know they winning. They know they winning here. We in charge of all your chicken. We in charge. We got a lot of high rises in this country. we got your bonds. We got billions and billions of dollars worth of bonds. They winning. We got four of the largest banks in the world. They winning, bro. And the reason why they're winning is because this man picks his people. Like these. I was listening to this Asian person who's supposed to be, like she's authority in China, and she was saying that China is aging out. A lot of these people, you got 700 million people that are aging out, but the younger people are highly skilled and educated. But at the same time, you have a number of people that will work for less, and they got manufacturing companies all over the country, and they have goods, and they making products and everything, and they make their little money, and then and they sell their goods over here or over somewhere else. They got a system, bro, because they have to work to make money to live. We got a country here. We got only 160 million people working. We got 90 million people retired or disability.
Well, let me say something here. I don't. I can put a whole lot of blame and stuff on Donald and stuff for what the heck is going on here. But we also have to put some pressure on our Democratic folks and everything, following the pattern of the Republicans. When we started losing our competitive edge with our folks and stuff out there, China and all the other countries and stuff around the world, because we stopped, like we keep talking about almost every day, we stopped educating our folks and stuff, and our education and stuff and everything that has not kept up to be able to stay in a competitive mode. So because we weren't competitive and everything, we turned to another way of fighting China and all the other countries out there. We tried to stifle their competitiveness. We held back.
Totally agree.
We held back their chips. We held back all the things that they would need and everything so they could progress and start getting better. And now, since Donald Trump is sitting there in office, he thinks that he can tear people to death and get them to do what the heck he wants them to do. Now, as we look at, and I'm have to give, because Biden, he helped. He did that too. He took that chip market and everything and said, hey, we ain't going to let them do it. We're going to hold back these chips. We ain't going to sell these chips because it's what? It's against our national security. So he told Huawei, you can't have this technology. This is ours. We're going to keep it. But we weren't doing anything and stuff to improve ourselves. Now we're looking at NVIDIA, who is a what? A $5 trillion company. But they can't hold on to that $5 trillion and stuff because part of the reason why they at that $5 trillion mark because they said they're going to be selling chips to China. China is one of their biggest markets and stuff for these daggone AI chips. And China hasn't bought those chips and stuff yet. So they have inflated the price of NVIDIA and stuff and everything and created a huge money thing for all the people and stuff who are making those investments because the stocks is going up and people are buying that stock. But all China has to do is say, we ain't buying any more of these daggone NVIDIA chips and everything, and them stock prices are going to hit the bottom again.
Yeah.
And everybody who bought those daggone chips and bought that stock and everything in NVIDIA and stuff, they're going to lose a whole lot of money. But we're
Yeah.
going to have to find a way, Ted, to get competitive out there. I don't know how we're going to educate our masses and stuff. The only thing that I can think that we got to do is, instead of stopping these folks from coming into our country and stuff and everything and become educated, we need to keep bringing as many of those people over here as we can and try to keep them here in our country so we can at least build our manufacturing up and everything to the point and everything to where we can start educating our own folks and stuff and everything who are going to be able to take over and stuff down the road. But that will never happen because Donald Trump is not thinking that way.
Well,
He
they
don't.
tried that. I think the Democrats tried to do that, and to a certain degree. And but the point is that when you don't consistently invest in these programs, and that means you have to invest in the neighborhoods. I'm talking about the poor. I'm talking about the middle class, the working class. You got to invest in, because see, the cream always rises to the top here. We know that because everybody's not going to want to do that. But there's always going to be, every once in a while, you'll hear a story of a black guy or a little black girl get the highest score on the math ever, and all of those types of things. And it's not that black folks can't do it. It's just that you got to bring that stuff in the classroom all the time. You can't just be, every once in a while, oh yeah, and bring a little trailer around and you have all kind of little IT stuff, and then you might can't have it for a week and then move on to the next school. You got to have this stuff in the school, every school, whether they're interested or not. You got to get them interested in it. And the way you do that, you got to let them know, and I mean, even if you have to show videos of the future and say these are the things that's transpiring. You talking, you show them videos of robots and all that, and then all kinds of stuff to get them interested in this stuff. Because right now, the only thing they want to do now is play games, video games. And it's competition. Video games is competitive, but the point is that they have to inspire these people for those types of positions, and
You
we're
brought
not
up
doing it.
you brought up, and I understand what you're saying, but I don't see them doing that. I don't see them investing into that in our community at all. I don't see them making those investments. But we have to make those investments ourselves. What I wanted to bring up was something else that you had brought up that I didn't. I was hitting the Obama thing, but you brought up something about the Hispanics. 120 million people except in this country, and you said why don't they are trying to get them out of here and everything, and they concentrating on throwing them people out and everything. But guess what, Ted? You had a good idea, but I think that there's another reason to stuff why they want to get them the hell out of here. 120 million people. We ain't got but 60, 50, 60 million. They got 120. What do you do? It ain't because of prejudice and stuff. Is that these folks do not want them to come in here and take over this daggone country because them 120 million people, they ain't stopping propagating themselves and stuff and creating offspring here in this country. Well, you got 120 million people and they're going to keep on going. Pretty soon, they're going to be the majority in this daggone country. They're going to own this country. And they don't want that to happen. So they're trying to get as many of them out of here as they can.
Yeah. And the thing is, they're not a monolithic people. The thing is that because they all, they have a different cultures and from different nations and all that, but they are classified as Latino. And so
Well,
they have some type
yeah.
of Uh,
and you see them as being a huge voting bloc.
yeah,
Yes, and you see where they're going to. You see where they're going to get them out of there. They're going into where? Los Angeles and Chicago.
yeah,
You're going to get as many of them out of there because they have an enclave of progressive speaking Hispanics.
yeah,
And there are Democratic voters right there in Chicago. They're Democrats and they're following the Democratic Party and they dominate the place. We got to stop them. Now they haven't went down here into the South, into Houston and Texas area, because there's a whole gang of them down there. But guess what they do? They vote Republican.
yeah, yeah,
They vote Republican. We ain't gonna bother our Republicans down there, but we gonna get them Democratic Hispanics and stuff out of here.
yeah,
there's a method behind their madness and stuff
yeah.
there.
I agree, and
Yeah,
and and
and
and, and
and
you saw it,
and
I
it,
saw it,
and
and
they
that's the
better
whole
get as
thing.
many out of there as they can because they've already done took them people out of the directors and stuff in each of those divisions. You ain't getting rid of none of them. You ain't getting rid of them fast enough. we got to pick up the speed, the pace. Man, these white folks out here is crazy.
Yeah, well, they know what they're doing. It. I mean, they realize that if they don't hurry up and get rid of some of these progressive or liberal Latinos, that are on the Democratic side, they're gonna,
They're
hey,
gonna they're gonna be hurting, man, because they're gonna have a huge block of folks out there who are voters who are gonna keep them Democrats in office and outnumber the Republicans.
and the one thing that you got to realize too, here in Florida, there's a bunch of Latinos here in Florida, but you know what?
They
You don't hear a
Republican.
whole lot, do you?
They
Because they
Republican.
vote. A lot of them vote Republican.
Mhm. Even though Trump's sitting
Down
there,
there
they're gonna vote for him.
In South Florida, Republican, Cubans. In Orlando, they got all kind. They got a lot of different types of over there, but a lot of them vote Republican.
So they don't have to
You
bother
don't hear,
them.
you
They're
don't.
already
They don't mess
trained.
with They don't mess. Tampa, same thing. A lot of Cubans. Yeah, I mean they know exactly what they're doing and where to go and who to mess with, and then they're messing with Portland. Now, why do you think they messing around with Portland, Oregon? Why are they, you know? And I think that's where the hub of the progressive liberals, uh, far left people that organize in that area for some reason. I don't know why, because there's not a whole lot of blacks in
It's
in
not.
in
It's not a whole lot of
Oregon.
black folks
I
there.
don't think I don't think the population there is 9%.
It's not. Oregon is not known to have a huge population of color folks. Most of the people
No,
there are white. And I don't know, but there's a reason and stuff why they're doing it. I can guarantee you that.
and well, I'm
Some,
just saying. I
yeah,
think I think because they are a lot of left wing liberal people that are in Oregon, especially in Portland. So and you don't hear about nothing in Wisconsin, though, either, do you?
well, Wisconsin don't have a lot of us up there in past Milwaukee.
That's
It's
what
too
I'm
damn
saying.
cold, man. It's too damn cold up there.
That's what I'm saying. And I went
It's
to
too
school in
cold.
Oshkosh, and hey, the only black folks that was in Oshkosh was the football and the basketball players.
That's it. And if you go to Green Bay, ain't a whole lot of up there because they whether they're football players or whatever.
Yeah.
Shoot. They ain't gonna go up there when it's cold and stuff. Man, it's cold up
So
there.
Waukegan, Milwaukee, maybe a couple other little small towns or cities, up there in Wisconsin. But other than that, that's it. And so, and I bet you, I can almost guarantee you, I bet you there ain't even a 500,000 black folks in the whole state.
Mm-mm. No, sir. Most of those folks are concentrated right there in Milwaukee. That's it. And the town and the city of Madison. Madison has those progressive students and stuff from the University of Wisconsin. They are a bastion of the Democrats and stuff there.
So we'll see. I don't know. Right now, we got a lot of people that's trying to strategize and come up with different tactics and try to educate the people through YouTube, and some people are going out. A lot of people have. I've been hearing a lot of people talking about going out to the red states and educate these people. But the point is, the Democrats don't have a vision. They don't have a vision, bro.
Well, they have one, but they don't have a vision for the people out there in those red states. The people out there in those red states they have a different mentality about the United States than the Democrats and stuff in urban areas. They're altogether different. And the person and stuff and everything that probably, if the Democrats wanted to do something like that, is find out how Obama did it. He's the only person to run for president or anything that won Iowa, a person of color. He went to Iowa and got those votes and stuff over there. And I keep telling people he had to have something that those folks and everything dealt with because he went down to Cairo, Illinois, and got votes out of there when he was running for U.S. Senator. And if anybody know anything about the state of Illinois, they know that in Cairo, Illinois, you might as well be in the heart of the reddest daggone state in this country. They worse than Arkansas when it comes to hating black folks down there in Cairo, Illinois. But he went down there when he ran for the U.S. Senate and he got those people to vote for him. Find out from him how he did it and what he did. They're letting this man just wither on the vine. He had an idea. Find out what the heck he did and model him. He'll tell you how to get out there and talk to those folks out there in the farmland. He did it.
Yeah, he did.
He did it. So you supposed to find out who your folks is, and then you go back and learn about what they did. If they were successful, if you in business and someone is successful in business and stuff, you gonna go to that person and stuff and find out how he did it. He gonna write books and all that stuff and everything about their business. People gonna buy them books and stuff because he was successful. Why not politics? You're successful. Why not politics?
So what you saying is that you think, if I'm interpreting you right, that the Democrats need to get on board the way President Obama communicated with these white folks,
Yes, he was
these
successful in
these,
doing it. He
these
didn't get all their
farmers.
votes. Right. He didn't get all their votes, but he got a whole lot of their votes and stuff. He was successful in doing that. How did he do that?
Well, the thing, like I said, the biggest thing, he did a lot of stuff. People don't
He did
realize how
a
much
lot of
stuff he
things.
did.
He
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 did a
did a
lot of
lot of
stuff that
stuff.
helped a lot of people. He's not getting credit for it, but he did a lot of stuff. But the one thing that he did that really, and people just don't get it. Now, I've never been on ACA or Obamacare, as they call it, but the point is that you can tell, if you listen to the plan that he had, and I talked about this yesterday. You look at the plan that he had, it would work. And then he had people that would monitor these bills. He had it all down, and making sure that these pricings was down low. He had all that, and so they started whittling away all kind of stuff, and that's why we are where we are now, because these Democrats didn't believe in it.
They didn't believe it. And I tell you what, Ted, once he won the nomination in 2008, he won that nomination, all these Democrats, especially here in the South, destroyed his organization. He had an organization here in Georgia, in South Carolina, in Texas, all these states, North Carolina. He had a huge organizations and stuff there that he had built up. And when he won the nomination in 2008, those state Democratic leaders here in the South took over. And all those folks that Obama had created and stuff and everything, they took them away. They cleared them out, destroyed them. He had
Yeah,
one hell of a organization going on down here, but they destroyed him. Took him and said, "No, we don't want y'all no more." He won the nomination. We're gonna take over now. The Democrats need to realize if you got something that's successful, keep the damn shit. If you're successful at doing it, Republicans do it. They're successful at doing what they do, and they keep on doing it.
well, Ed, I keep on saying this. When Reagan won the first term, I said they're gonna realize that they made a mistake. And then he made it worse the second term. And then Herbert Bush got in there, and he was trying to do basically the same thing, but he got ousted by Clinton. Clinton was a Mr. He didn't give it, he gave a shit, but he didn't really give a shit. He was all about, Mr. Trying to, can we all get along, and not really doing things because, when he really messed up, and he, in my opinion, when he made that deal with Mexico and Canada and all that, and then a lot of these corporations went start going overseas heavily.
Well,
They was already doing it in the 80s.
that wasn't his decision. The decision to do that was those companies and stuff made that decision to do that. But the difference between Clinton and stuff was he was one of them, as we call one of them silver tongue devils.
Yeah, yeah,
he had he had a silver tongue. He
yeah,
can talk you. He can smooth talk you into anything.
yeah. And that's true. And the thing is that when I look at it, when you look at it, and then they messed around and they put that second Bush in there, and he had basically kept the budget. One thing you got to give it to him, and maybe the Republicans were partially responsible too, but the point is that he had pretty much a balanced budget, and the debt was what? I don't even think it was $7 trillion back then. I don't know. I have to go look, but I don't think it was seven or
No,
eight
it
trillion
wasn't.
dollars. Bush got in. The first thing he did, we had an overflow, and what did he do?
He
He
started that
gave
war.
everybody $600, $1,200.
He started that war.
There you go.
He started that Iraq war.
Unnecessary war, and we
Unnecessary
end up
war.
costing us over 10 to 15
We
trillion dollars.
we still paying for it. We still paying for it.
So
Anyway,
now,
Ted. Anyway, Ted. We at the end here, brother. We play, man.
well,
What's your final word, man?
my final word is that when you look at all the politics of everything that's been happening over the last 45 years, and the I wouldn't call it brainwashing, because if you got an analytical mind, you got a logical mind, you can think for yourself and all that kind of stuff. you can figure things out. However, there are people right now that's out there that's disillusioned. They're lost. They don't even understand the American way. They don't understand what this country is all about. They really don't. I don't think they really understand what this country is all about. And and the reason why I say that is because I'm listening to some of these younger people, and they don't know what it's all about. Everybody's looking for an answer. They're trying to figure out, you know, and the only thing they can think of is money, 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 money. Now, this is the big thing now, bro. Money. Everybody's after the big money. That's why we got this crypto stuff going on. That's why stock market is so hot. Money, money, money. This is what this country right now is all about. Is people getting their money. I got mine, and that's all that matters. That's all I want to say.
My final word is we look at what happened over there in Asia these past weeks. Folks over here in this country, the devil is in the details, people. We watched our president and his gang go over there and boisterously try to run through those people over there in those Asiatic countries. And that's not how you deal with those people over there in Asia. That's not how you deal with them. Nobody watched it, but we saw a gentleman and stuff come from Canada and walk up in there, and he was quiet and spoke what he had to speak. And guess what, people? They're already getting people from those Asiatic countries coming to Canada as we speak right now. Even before he got on the plane to come back, they were over there in Canada investing money. If that happens in this country and stuff, I'm going to be damn surprised, because I don't think Trump walked away with nothing but a big old boisterous mouth, with the news people over here sitting there praising him, but doing nothing. Absolutely nothing, people. He is not going to get nothing. And you farmers, if you're waiting on China to buy your soybean, you better wake up.